Well, it's considered by many to be a long shot, but the Mid-States Corridor Project kicked off a 2-year study looking at improving access to I-69. Adam Pinsker spoke with a business owner who's concerned about how the proposed highway expansion project could impact his livelihood.
Mark Toy has run his own auto repair garage on a dusty rural county road outside of Montgomery, Indiana since 1992. He worries his business could come to a screeching halt because of the Mid-States Corridor Project.
I've got 7 full-time employees. That's my main concern, is what will be done to make a business correct if the road cuts off its customer base.
Mid-States partnered with INDOT on identifying potential routes connecting rural communities in south central Indiana to I-69.
And when you have improved highway connections and you're able to move not only people but goods faster and hopefully more in a safer way as well, you're talking about increased opportunities for the region.
Officials with Mid-States spent this week meeting with the public and unveiling plans for potential routes. Some of the proposals include utilizing existing 4-lane routes or expanding 2-lane roads.
We have right now very large study bands. We don't even have a sharpened pathway. We're looking at very wide study bands, and so it's hard to zero in and know exactly where those impacts will be.
The expansion would start on the Kentucky state line in Rockport, Indiana, and span north. One projected route could take it straight north through 231 to the I-69 interchange in Crane, but it could also span east along routes 56 and 145, eventually connecting to Highway 37, or northeast through Shoals and Lagodi into Bedford. The west side potential routes include Highway 356 into Petersburg or northwest along 257. That's an area Toy says would affect him.
I've driven pretty well every route that they've got on there. If you want to talk about the cost of where to build a road, the cheapest, probably the most economical road to build is the one that affects me.
Toy worries if it's chosen, paved roads to the west and east of him would get an overpass, turning his road into a dead-end street.
You'd have to come around to the south to come back to me for probably 90% of my customer base. And it just concerns me that, I know if they pay for the building and the land and stuff like that, what do they do about the loss in business?
Toy told us that Mid-States officials said they would do a cost analysis on his business to see how the work would impact him. If he has to move or close his business for the sake of progress, he hopes it's well worth it.
Well, I'm a businessman. I understand business has to move on, but sometimes I kind of think they might be getting a little ahead of themselves until they get I-69 complete, too.
Mid-States officials say they will narrow down the list of potential routes by the summer of 2021. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Adam Pinsker.